Boom. All right, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Crypto Convo, series where we cover exciting news and price action in the land of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and crypto-related stocks. You guys, we are going to be keeping it pretty simple today. Our primary focus of this video is going to be Coinbase's earnings call that just went down. That they absolutely crushed, as I know many of us were hoping and expecting. So we will be taking a look at a few of their quarter-over-quarter metrics that they just released. Of course, we will dive into the charts as well. I'll give you guys a few of my thoughts around what could go down with their stock price, and then we'll definitely talk some Bitcoin and Ethereum as well, okay? So let's get into it. As always, we'll quickly go over the topics we'll be discussing, and then we'll dive into each one individually. In front of us, the usual, is TradingView, where we'll be taking a look at 3 names today once again. The first of which is going to be Coinbase. That is the only equity or stock we're going to be looking at today. And then we'll move on to the kings of the crypto market himself, king of crypto, king of alts, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. I'll just give you guys my short to medium term thoughts on price action as far as the 2 big dogs go. All right, so again, those are the only 3 we are going to be looking at. In terms of news, this is the first article we are going to be touching on. Crypto Decoded, CNBC. Coinbase profits surge following volatile stretch of cryptocurrency trading. All right, so this will break down their earnings call in brief. Just look at a few of the primary financial metrics that are important to relay for you guys. As always, if you guys are invested in Coinbase or interested in more of the intricacies of this earnings call, definitely just go look for it for yourself. There's a lot more detailed information on Coinbase's investor relations site or other news blogs as well. But just want to keep it short and sweet for you guys, kind of go over the big points in regard to this earnings call. All right, so on top of this article, I also want to take a look at this company highlights. If you guys just watched the video I posted a couple like yesterday as the time of recording, you guys might see it a couple days later. But regardless, I did just record this video a couple of days ago going over their highlights. If you guys remember, I was talking about how stoked I was after their earnings call to refresh this exact page. And you guys, looking at these quarter-over-quarter metrics, this could be like year-over-year metrics for a lot of fast, like hyper-growth companies, but this is only quarter over quarter. So after we read through this article, we'll take a look at this. Just enjoy that sweet refresh, because obviously it's kind of out of play right now. It doesn't work like this. But again, just pulled up my video from a couple days ago that we will be using to reference what this was before I hit that good old refresh button. Okay, so that is Coinbase. After we kick off the video by reading through these and again going over some of these quarter over quarter metrics, a little tongue twister right there, we will dive into the charts. We'll talk about Coinbase. And then after we cover Coinbase on the charts, we'll hop into this single article talking about crypto itself. This isn't even, I guess you could say this is the most macro fundamental. This has nothing to do with like on-chain metrics or Bitcoin specifically, the Lightning Network, whatever. But this is a very, very important individual involved with Bitcoin and tech overall. Jack Dorsey says Bitcoin will unite the world, but doesn't say how. So again, you guys, this is more of just kind of a thought piece just to get us hyped up for Bitcoin. Eyes on the prize, eyes on the long term, and just remind ourselves of what the big picture is for Bitcoin prior to diving into the charts. All right, so again, more of just a thought piece. Let me know what you guys think about any of these articles down below. This is definitely the one that I'm most interested on your guys' opinion of. Do you guys think Bitcoin can change the world, and why? Okay, so let me know that down below. Those are all the points we'll be talking about today. As always, you guys, please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it today. If you were invested in Coinbase prior to their earnings, if you were bullish on it like I was, and just please give the video a like. It helps out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and want to catch more content like this, always covering good crypto stuff. Very, very exciting to see this pullback in a lot of the Bitcoin miners today. That was very, corrections, as I said in the newsletter this morning, corrections present opportunities. You guys know that. I say it all the time because it's true. But always talking about the good stuff. Plenty of other sectors that I'm excited about right now. So subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and want to catch the revolutionary sector content of the markets. And of course, check out my complete portfolio daily newsletter. First link down in the description. That is going to be $15 a month or $40 for every 3 months for a complete breakdown of my entire personal portfolio. All call options, all put options, all stock positions, all cryptocurrency positions that I do update every single trading day during market hours, and along with every portfolio update, I do also send out a complimentary email newsletter explaining my thoughts, rationalizing my trades, letting you guys know why I'm trading the way I'm trading, and whatever I feel is important for you guys. So again, means a lot if you guys check it out. First link down below. 15 bones a month, 40 every 3. If not though, no worries at all. I appreciate you guys watching right now, okay? So that said, again, we will dive into the charts after this, but got to establish fundamentals, got to establish these very, very impressive numbers and financial metrics that they released today. Okay, so Coinbase profits surge following volatile stretch of cryptocurrency trading once again. Key points in Q2, Coinbase brought in $2.23 billion of revenue versus $1.78 billion expected by Refinitiv. Okay, so the expectation versus reality. Expectation versus reality. That is an insane beat, okay? It also reported adjusted earnings per share of $3.45, which is also an insane beat. So I'll scroll down a little bit, get a little more insight on what's going on. Coinbase shares rose as much as 2.1% in extended trading Tuesday after reporting second quarter revenue that was stronger than analysts had expected. So actually, it popped up, went down. I think it was down like 1.5% actually, even following these very, very strong financial metrics, which was crazy to me. I was baffled to see that. But I believe as of right now, it's only up like 0.5% in after hours at the time of recording. I think that's ridiculous. I think the stock is going to pop once more eyeballs fall on kind of these numbers and metrics. And yeah, I'm ready for that because I'm heavily invested. Always know you guys, money where my mouth is, okay? But as we dive into the charts, you will understand why from both a fundamental, this is the fundamental and technical perspective once again in the charts, that I think Coinbase has some significant upside ahead of us in regard to the short term. Here's how the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the US did versus expectations per Refinitiv estimates. Revenue, $2.23 billion versus $1.78 billion expected. Earnings, $3.45 per share adjusted, which excludes stock-based compensation benefits versus $2.33 expected. Again, insane beat on earnings today. The company's net profit for the quarter was $1.6 billion, up nearly 4,900% from a year earlier. So 4,900% year over year increase, you guys. That's insane. This is such a financially sound and such a financially impressive company that's growing at a scale unlike any other company, I would say, at this level, at this scale, okay? Coinbase's fate is tethered to the performance of digital assets like Bitcoin. The company generated $2 billion in net revenue, including $1.9 billion in transaction revenue and more than $100 million in subscription and services revenue. Bitcoin prices fell about 41% during the quarter. Monthly transacting users grew to 8.8 million, up from 44% from the previous quarter, while trading volume rose 38% to $462 billion from the previous quarter. And again, you guys, considering a lot of the last quarter, a lot of this past quarter for Bitcoin, it was volatile. We saw the crash, but it was a lot of sideways. There was volatility within that sideways price action, but it was a lot of sideways price action for the most part, which is important to remember, okay? And again, you guys, Coinbase is not directly correlated with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the cryptocurrency markets, like I was saying in the last video, like many like cryptocurrency miners are, all right? And that makes sense because Coinbase doesn't make money off of Bitcoin or Ethereum. Coinbase makes money off of people trading Bitcoin and Ethereum, all right? So in a bull market or bear market, Coinbase will print money because they make money off of every single buy and sale of any cryptocurrency on their exchange, okay? So that's very important to remember. And it's like just subscription products, 100 million in the last quarter in just subscription and services revenue. Just that metric in itself is impressive, okay? So moving on, did I highlight anything else? Okay, we'll read over these a few more paragraphs here and then dive into these guys and then dive into the charts, all right? So the company reported that total trading volume diversified beyond Bitcoin into Ethereum and other crypto assets. Approximately 24% of the company's total trading volume for the quarter was concentrated in Bitcoin, down from 39% in Q1. So a lot more interest, you guys. Again, this is important if you guys are focused on the overall cryptocurrency sector. I imagine most of you are. I imagine most of you are not just trading Coinbase. If you are, that's perfectly fine. But I imagine many of you are involved in Bitcoin and altcoins, okay? And the fact that this metric is present, has been released, shows that there is a lot more attention at this point in time in terms of altcoins, okay? I think Ether surpassed Bitcoin last quarter, just overall, when it came to overall trading volume. So Ether has a lot of volume on its side, has a lot of tailwinds on its back, and that's why many of you guys know I'm personally at this point in time a lot more bullish on Ether than Bitcoin, okay? So just throwing that out there. While the company offered no formal guidance, it did say trading volume will be lower in the third quarter compared with the Q2. For the full year, analysts surveyed by Refinitiv expect $7.76 per share on a revenue of $6.3 billion. During April's direct listing, Coinbase opened at $380 per share and was briefly valued as much as $100 billion, a landmark event for the cryptocurrency industry. Excluding the after-hour move, Coinbase stock has fallen about 29% since the company's direct listing on April 14th, while the Nasdaq has risen 7% over the same period. Okay, so again, looking at some of these quarter-over-quarter estimates, let's actually slide that right there. 56 million plus verified users. Look at that. Look at that pretty face. Or, I mean, pretty or gross. To each their own. Anyway, I'm just kidding. But 56 million users last quarter. This quarter, I was like, in that video, I was like, conservative 60, like 62, which is the ballpark number I threw out. But they're at 68 million plus verified users just quarter over quarter. That's an addition of over 10 million users, 12 million if you want to do the easy math. But again, $335 billion quarterly volume traded. We have $462 billion in quarterly volume traded. This is the only metric here that went down a little bit. That was $223 billion in assets on the platform. Because so many people sold, now they only have $180 billion on assets under management, assets on the platform, not assets under management, but yes, as I say, assets on the platform. 100 plus countries, same there. And then 2,100 plus employees from 1,700 plus employees, so adding another 400 employees just over the course of the last quarter, which again just speaks to the rate that this company is growing at. That's absolutely insane. Okay, so that is that. Let's take a look at Coinbase on the charts right now. Coinbase on the charts is looking great just from a short-term perspective. It's rare we do the hourlies, but because I just covered Coinbase and some more long-term metrics, I want to talk to you guys about kind of the shorter-term time horizon, what I'm seeing on the hourly candles right now. All right, so Coinbase simply is in a short-term uptrend, higher highs and higher lows, little high, low, higher high, higher low, establishing that higher low, bounce nicely off this previous high right here on the short term. And it only makes sense to me that Coinbase will pretty much go along these two trend lines right here, which is a pretty steep ascending channel. I think following these earnings, because this earnings call was so goddamn impressive, Coinbase is likely to reclaim this previous ascending channel on the short term, and just say by the end of the week, August 13th is this Friday. I think it's completely likely that Coinbase does hit my initial target around, it's like, as it said, Coinbase just their direct listing was like 380, but I think it went out around 330, or at some point at the day traded at 330. Regardless, 330 for a while has been my kind of short to medium term price target for Coinbase. And this trend line, the top line of resistance on this current ascending channel, would it take us to about $325 or around 330, just again around ballpark region of my initial price target on August 12th, August 13th, by the end of this week, by this Friday. Again, considering today's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you got 3 days to see this move up, which would be, let's zoom out a little bit. We can go back to the 4 hours, get rid of these because those get a little distracting. So if we do see that move up by Friday, that would be just under 22% over the course of this week from current levels at $270. So 270 to my price target of about 327, just 325, just keep it conservative, is going to be about 21% to the upside, and that would not surprise me at all, considering Coinbase absolutely just blew earnings out of the water. Okay, and then Coinbase, considering I do think Coinbase can be at least a $500 billion company, maybe a $1 trillion company over the course of the next decade, and I do think that's conservative, especially considering the dollar is going down in value. I definitely think Coinbase can be a $1 trillion company over the course of the next 10 years. Crypto is not going anywhere. Again, as I said in the last video, Coinbase is one of, if there's a Mount Rushmore of companies in the crypto industry, Coinbase is definitely on there. This is a generational company, and it would not surprise me to at least see a 10x over the course of the next 5 to 10 years, all right? But short term, I think by the end of this week, I'll just say this now, Coinbase can see about a 20% jump up to the upside, all right? So let's cover Bitcoin and Ethereum, but first we will let's go Bitcoin on the 4 hours, keep it a little more medium term, all right? So Bitcoin, Ethereum, again, we'll close it out on the charts, but first let's read over this quickly. Jack Dorsey says Bitcoin will unite the world, but doesn't say how. Quote, Bitcoin will unite a deeply divided country and eventually the world. All right, so Jack Dorsey, he used to look so much cleaner, but I guess it kind of fits into his current narrative, cruising in Africa, preaching Bitcoin, and being the CEO of some of those massive and influential companies in the world. All right, so Twitter and Square CEO Jack Dorsey, a noted superfan of Bitcoin, claimed on Monday that the cryptocurrency will eventually unite the world. Yes, really. On Monday afternoon, an amendment to the Senate's infrastructure package that would have expanded the government's involvement in cryptocurrency was blocked. Shortly after that, Dorsey tweeted, quote, "Bitcoin will unite a deeply divided country and eventually the world," which is the quote you can see right here. Dorsey didn't specify which country, but given that he's been tweeting a lot about the amendment since it failed, it seems likely he's talking about the U.S. He hasn't yet explained further. Okay, you guys. So, with all the talk within the Senate, with all this kind of U.S. regulatory talk that's going on right now, it's important to understand that Bitcoin, this area is still young. The fact that it's being talked about, the fact that regulation is becoming more and more of an issue is good for the space. It means the space is growing. It means that there's enough dollars flowing into the space to where they should be worried. And this has happened over the course of the 4 years that I've been in cryptocurrencies, all right? It's important to realize that this will continue to happen until regulation is in place, until a lot of these senators understand this more, and this may be a generational issue, okay? So it's important to understand that this talk will happen, but regardless, I do agree with Jack Dorsey on this. Bitcoin, one of my primary arguments for Bitcoin for so long, just what initially, like when I initially got interested in Bitcoin again, like years ago, over 4 years ago, actually, now that I'm thinking about that time horizon, is the fact that Bitcoin is borderless. It's decentralized. It democratizes everything. It creates for a borderless like nation state, I guess you could say. It democratizes the world. If you're whether in the most fortunate, you could argue that the semantics of that, the most fortunate country in the world, which is the United States, or sub-Saharan Africa or something, a significantly less fortunate country, India, whatever. You can buy Bitcoin if you have access to the internet, and you can transact in Bitcoin. You can transfer wealth, you can transfer value anywhere in the world if you do have an internet access without being billed and without having to jump through legal hoops, okay? Like through the traditional banking system. That's powerful. And I'm an optimist. I'm an eternal optimist. I think a borderless state will happen at some point during the human life cycle. Not my human life cycle, not my lifespan, not my lifetime. I don't think that. But at some point in human history, in the history of humanity, we will reach kind of a borderless nation state, all right? So again, TED Talk aside, I do think Bitcoin will unite the world someday. Again, just from a pure investor, pure value perspective, the fact that it's a borderless currency that costs very, very little to transact and is extremely secure, obviously very, very important moving forward in the global financial system, all right? So that is just my little take on the very, very macro view of Bitcoin. But when we hop into the charts right now, I'm going to keep it a little more medium term, short to medium term, just because I talk about Bitcoin a lot and I feel like that's more relevant, all right? So again, Bitcoin, since it broke its line of resistance, actually not since then, but Bitcoin has been in a beautiful ascending channel over the course of the past month. Not month, I guess, but over the course of the past few weeks, Bitcoin has been in this beautiful ascending channel. Once it officially broke this long-term down, the long-term line of resistance on the overall downtrend on August 6th, that's when we started really ripping, seeing things take off, which you'll love to see. We are getting very close to the top line of resistance on this ascending channel. So it will be interesting to see. And it's looking good right now. Bitcoin 4-hour Stokes just crossed up. You can see right here. It only makes sense considering Bitcoin is setting like a textbook higher high, or a higher low, on this short-term uptrend. So again, high, low, higher low, basing out. We're probably going to go on to set a higher high now, look exactly like this one right here. And I do think we're going to come up to probably perfectly test this line of resistance. Now, I know a lot of traders are eyeballing the $47,000 region, and I'm personally definitely eyeballing the $50,000 region. It's evidently a very significant psychological even. So I do want to see Bitcoin, because so many traders are talking about 47, 48K, I just do want to see Bitcoin break that just to kind of get that out of the way. But I do think it's going to happen again. 4-hour Stokes just curled up. This is a very, very organic short-term uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. I think it's inevitable at this point, in my opinion. I shouldn't say inevitable ever, but in my mind, it's inevitable that Bitcoin goes on to test the line of resistance on this ascending channel by, tomorrow? Let's just say tomorrow. The day you guys are watching this, August 11th, I want to see Bitcoin break $48,000. $48,500 is going to be the price target. say we go sideways for a little bit, maybe even come down to set a real higher low, maybe come down a little more. As long as we are above, honestly, like $43,000, we will technically be setting a higher low. So as long as we're above 43K, this short-term uptrend is still intact. And I think that at some point, maybe it takes a little while, maybe we extend to the end of this week, again, August 14th. That would take us to exactly 50K if we hit the top line of resistance on the ascending channel. And 50K at the same time, just a psychological even of 50K. Okay, so as always, you guys, go into the charts for yourself, draw these trend lines, and keep an eye on them, all right? Let's close it out with Ether, just give you guys my quick thoughts on Ether. So Ether, again, I mean, just so clean right now. Super clean series of higher highs and higher lows. I mean, obviously now slowing down a little bit just because Ether saw so much goddamn volatility over in this area right here. But parabolic move up, high, low, setting a higher high. Maybe we come down a little more. Again, you guys set that higher low. But the way Ether's looking, like the volume we're seeing right now, the attention around NFTs. I'm actually going to record an NFT video that I will be posting tomorrow right after this. I'm really looking forward to posting that and recording that because I haven't talked about those before and I think it's going to be really fun. I already have that tab. I already have a little sneak preview of that right here that I'll show you guys. But excited to record that right after this. I will be releasing that tomorrow. Regardless, Ethereum is the oil of the internet. I mean, if you want to run something on the Ethereum network, on the Ethereum blockchain, you need Ether. You need to use it as gas. That's the beauty of the Ethereum network and the beauty of owning Ether as a token in terms of an investment, okay? So, Ether, let's just zoom out here. Let's actually go to the daily to close it out because we got to zoom out pretty significantly here. Ether, now that it is back in this lower tier ascending channel right here, I think it's only a matter of time before we go on to test the top side of this ascending channel. Again, right here, support, previous very, very strong support. Now that Ether is broken back above that support using previous, broken back above that new resistance that was previous very strong support. Again, Ether broke resistance, go on to see it used perfectly as new support. So this line of support is back in play. Therefore, I do believe this ascending channel is back in play. My next price target for Ether is going to be a new all-time high at just about $4,500 1 month from today. So a month from today, I think Ether is setting a new all-time high. And we'll close it out there, you guys. Again, if you do want to know how I'm trading all these other plays, Riot Mar, SPRT, Bitfarms, BTBT, Chainlink, EV sector, everything. First link down below, $15 a month or $40 every 3 months. And yeah, as always, you guys, let me know what you think. Again, if you were invested in Coinbase prior to this earnings call, if you're impressed with Coinbase's earnings call, what your favorite crypto-related stock is. Always look forward to talking to you guys downstairs. So I'll catch you in the comments. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.